Okay, so I'm just going to run through. I'll do our flower first of all. So I'll just do one down here. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to sort of drag out an ellipse shape here. And I've got that. And I'll just make it something a little bit more florally. And then I'm just going to Option drag down to make a copy of it. And then I grab them both and I'm just going to go to Object and to Group. Then what I'm going to do is just grab this. I'm going to go round and I'm going to go to my effect and down to distort and transform. I will go to transform and then I make sure to click on preview and I'm going to set the angle up to say 15 and let's try 6, and if I hit tab on my keyboard, so let's try 12, tab again, and you'll see I've got 12 of them there, so I can sort of click OK here. Now I might want to, I could have gone around and do 30, and I'll do 6. So it's sort of up to you the shape of the flower you want, and there's our flower shape there. So now notice even though I've got the 2 selected, it's showing me all the other ones. So what I could do here is I go down to expand appearance. I've got all these ones, that's good. And then I'm going to go and I'll put another circle in here for the moment. And I'm going to make that, let's say, a more reddy color flower, the center of my flower. And I'm just going to grab that. I'll just group it and grab them both. And I'll go to my align here and just shift that out of the way. There's my align. I align it in this axis and that axis. And I may have to ungroup this. I just can't quite remember. Object ungroup. Yeah, and then I'll group a lot of them. So group. And once I've got that, I don't want it to be too big. I'll just scale it down, holding down my shift key and going across to there. And you sort of see what we've got there. Then I get this one. I go to Effect, Transform again, and make sure to click on Preview. And no angle here, so I can just hit 0 and tab. And I'm going to put on, say, 6 copies is fine. And this time I just want to go to the horizontal. And you can see they're appearing across the other side there. And I click OK. And then another Effect, Transform. A new effect, and this time we'll set that back to 0, tab, and I'll go to say 8, tab, make sure to click on preview again so I can actually see what I've got, and I'll just go to vertical, make sure that's switched on, and see what we've got there, and we've got our little flowers there. Click OK. And you can sort of get an idea of what the whole thing is doing. Now, obviously, I've still only got one, so if I want to do the randomize thing, what I do is I go through and I'm going to go to Object, Expand Appearance again. Okay, and in order to do that, now they're still all grouped, I go to Object, Ungroup, and they're also in a second group, which is the horizontal ones, and Object, Ungroup again. And now if I click away, you can see I've only got one. All right, so I'm going to grab all of them. And this time, instead of going to Effect, Transform up here, I go to Object, Transform, and Transform each. Okay, and you can see straight away it's already randomized some of them. I could go through and say change the angle. So it's sort of randomizing them the way they're rotated. I might go through and shift that down the other way. And also the scale, you can sort of play around with this. You could go up to 300, just make sure if you make sure that, yep, and make sure the element is 300. And tab, and you click OK, and you can see you've got this pattern of flowers. Now, they may be a little bit hard to see, so that's where if I went back, I might want to change the overall shape of those. So maybe when I did those transforms, and I'll just go back, and I'll do that again. And now, let's assuming I wanted to change this already. Okay, let's assume I've already done this, but I wanted to change it. How can I change it without undoing everything? And the way I do that is I go down to Appearance, And you can actually see the transform. There's the first transform which is switched off. I'll go to this one, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to increase the amount. Again, clicking on preview. Okay, get them all the way down there. Click OK, and then switch this one back on, and then activate that. And what I'm going to do is make sure, switch on preview, and drag that across so there's a bit more space between them. Now we can always change this afterwards. Then I'm going to click OK. Again, object, and go into expand appearance, object ungroup, and object ungroup. And then again we'd go away, get them all, and I'd go down to my object, transform each, and that will give you that one there. And we've got that sort of shape there. Maybe I might want to move those around a little bit more. Let's go transform each, and you know what, maybe not so much. It's sort of up to you really how far you want to do this, and that gives you that effect there. And that's the final result. So what I did earlier, and I'll come back and I'll show you how to do this peace sign. So I'm just going to delete that. I'm going to go through and get a circle. So Shift and Option. I want black stroke, no fill, and I want to drop the stroke up to, let's say, 10, up to maybe 20 points, maybe a little bit more actually. I'll make it quite thick. 40, I'll leave it, I'll try 30. Okay, and I'm just going to go through with that. Once I've got that, I'm going to get my pen tool. I'm going to go through and click once and shift click again, deactivate, and then I'll lock both of those. Before I do that, actually, I'll just align them, and I'll go to Object Lock Selection, and then what I want to do is get my pen tool, click that down to there, across to there, hit Escape on my keyboard, and then grab this one, go to my reflect across the vertical, and copy. That didn't work. Make sure that's because I had the point selected. Make sure you've got the object selected. Object, copy, and then I can drag this over to the right, and you see it's just going to, there it is, intersecting, and just go through, view. Yep, there we are there, that's all good. Now back to preview again, I'm going to grab all of them. I need to go Object Unlock All to get the two previous ones. I'm going to grab all of them and go to Object, Path, and down to Outline Stroke. And last but not least, I go up to here, which is my Pathfinder, and unite them into one object. And that's where I could then go through if I wanted to, and I could sort of, I'll make it a little bit bigger. I'm going to drag that down to there. Let's make it actually bigger up here. And drag that down to there. And I'm going to grab all of those and go to Object, Clipping Mask, and Make. And you see I've created a path with my flowers inside. Alright, so I'll just save that tutorial there.